So, in my life, there's only one thing that I really regret, and that is lost opportunity. Maybe some of you can relate. I'm talking about the kind of lost opportunity that wakes you up in the middle of the night with chills, with cold sweats. The kind that clenches your jaw, that tightens your throat, that swirls butterflies in your stomach. I'm talking about that kind of regret. And so what I want to share with you today is two specific examples in my own life that I look back on and I wish so much that I could change them. But I know that I can't. And I'm sharing them not just for myself, not just for my personal experience, but because I believe there are universal nuggets embedded within these stories that everybody here can apply in their own lives. And the two themes and the two stories deal with entrepreneurship and idolatry in that order. So, do we have any entrepreneurs in the audience? Show of hands? Show of hands? Okay, good. You'll definitely appreciate this story I'm about to tell. Now, it all started when I was 10, as all great stories do. And I was in my friend Nate's garage, and we're playing Nerf basketball, if you can imagine, and I see out of the corner of my eyes a rake. And I've seen this rake hundreds of times before, but this time it holds special significance for me. And I say, "Nate, is that your mom's rake?" And he says, "Yeah, that's my mom's rake." Why? I said, "Listen, I'm going to show you how we can get all of the candy in the world." He looks at me like a deer in the headlights. "All of the candy in the world?" I say, "Yes, all of the candy in the world. You get that rake, meet me at the end of the driveway, 10 minutes. I'm going back to my house. I got some gear to get, okay?" He doesn't even know exactly what's going on. This just shows you the power and the motivating factor of candy in a 10-year-old boy's life. Something to take note of if you have 10-year-olds in your life right now. So I get on my bike and I pedal like a madman back to my house. I get the gear, a tarp, I throw it in my backpack. I get a metal rake, I wedge it underneath my arm and put the other end against the bike handle. And again, I pedal like a madman to the end of the driveway. Get off my bike, we start walking through the neighborhood. And I should tell you, it's also fall, and there's tons of leaves on the ground if you haven't figured this out yet. I grew up in New Hampshire. And we're looking for the yard that's at least ankle deep in leaves, because that's the one that's probably not going to be able to turn us down. If they've let it get that far, they're going to let us do it. Additionally, unfortunately, we do not set terms and conditions about how much we should be paid. So that's another added bonus for whoever decides to elect us to rake their yard. So we find the right house, it fits all the criteria, and we walk up and I knock on the door. I look at Nate. Yeah, we got this. And an old woman with cotton ball hair sticks her head out and says, "Yes, may I help you?" And I say, "Yes, ma'am, my friend Nate and my name's Jason. We would love to be of service to you and rake your lawn. And you can decide what the price is. That's completely up to you." She says, "Well, I do need the help." "Okay, come get me when you're done." So we step back. I say, "Nate, you go over there. I'm going to go over here. I'm telling you, this is an hour tops." He says, "Okay." So we start raking. An hour goes by. I poke my head up. We've only done a quarter of the yard. I say, "Okay, time to kick it into full gear, man. One more hour. I know we can do this." 5 hours later, we trudge up really tired, downtrodden. We trot up to the front door, thinking about candy and soda, video games, movies, and I knock on the door. And the woman opens the door, pokes her head out, says, "Wow, that's incredible. Nice job, boys. Give me one moment." She steps back inside. And we're there, and she calls from inside, "Hold your hands out, boys." I look at Nate, I say, "She's asking us to hold out our hands? Can you imagine how much she's going to give us?" I hold out my hands, and then she comes out and sees our hands out and says, No, cup your hands together, boys." And I'm starting to realize what this might be implying, and my facial expression changes as I look at Nate. And she proceeds to pour 12 quarters into my hands and 12 quarters into Nate's hands, and says, "Thank you very much," and closes the door. And we're a little bit deflated, as you can imagine, but we're also excited because it's our first successful business transaction of this new entrepreneurial endeavor. And we step down, but the deflation starts to hit again, and we start doing the math, and we're like, that's 50 cents an hour, or roughly 1,000% less than minimum wage at the time. And I gotta tell you, we continued to do this about 3 or 4 more times for the next 2 weeks with the same results. And then we quit because we thought, yeah, this doesn't work. This is a scam. This is so lame. Making 50 cents an hour, this isn't up to our standards. But you know what I regret about this situation that I pull from it now is that the reason why the same thing happened again over those 4 or 5 occurrences is that we didn't value ourselves. We didn't set the standard ourselves for what we should be worth. And this was a good woman, and these were good people who were, compensating us for our work, but they could only reflect back to us what we were presenting, which was nothing, which was absolutely nothing. So I think about, all the years I wasted. What would have happened if I'd just taken that entrepreneurial energy at that early age and actually applied it moving forward? How would things be different in my life today? What would the trajectory of my life have been? And, unfortunately, I didn't adopt that mindset and that attitude and those action steps that entrepreneurs must take moving forward, even when they hit a wall. I didn't do it for another 10 years or so. So I regret that. I don't know if that's something I can change. I don't know. We'll find out, at least by the end of this talk, okay? So this leads into idolatry. And idolatry is related to this because idolatry also asks us something about our self-worth. And for me, the greatest example of idolatry in my life that has caused me to waste time is thinking about my relationship with my father. Because my father, he's a human being, right? But he didn't want to be a part of our family, really. He didn't really want to be the one to go to the ball games, the one to read books together, do fun activities together. And for so many years, I put him on a pedestal. I put him up here, and I said, I need somebody to have the power to help me grow my character development and my strength of integrity. I need this person to do that for me for so many years. And the results were always down here. So you can imagine I was in a constant state of disappointment, feeling less than. And, it's fine that he's a human being. And that's absolutely fine. The thing that I regret is that I spent so long giving my power to somebody else, to something else in my life rather than myself. And or let's say, for example, public speaking. We're all here because we want to learn about public speaking. Say that you idolize a public speaker and you say, they're so good. I know I've done it before. I don't know if anybody else has, probably. You say, they're so good, I could never be that good. Well, it's the same principle, the same thing, idolatry. You're believing, you're committing to a false belief that somebody could actually have much greater abilities and a greater capacity for growth than you could. They went through challenges too. But when you separate yourself and you put them on a pedestal, you idolize them, and you allow all of your power to go away. The truth is that no one can take your power from you, that you are the one who determines what your self-worth is and where your power is going to be. Now, the real question, I think, that comes up in my mind as I address these topics, and maybe it does for you, is can time be permanently wasted? Is it impossible to recover? These instances, if you spent 10 or 15 years, 20 years doing something that you feel has wasted your life, you look back, again, those cold sweats, that clenched throat, that clenched jaw, and you think, I can never reclaim that. That's so disappointing. You got to ask, can it be reclaimed? And my answer to that is, it can be, if you are willing to extract the wisdom that's formed, literally, within an experience in your life and apply it to your current set of circumstances in order to transform your life right now, this instant. If you can bring it all forward and allow it to be a catalyst for transformation, it absolutely can. Now, what I'd like for us to do at this point is, you can trust me, I'm a good guy. I know you haven't known me that long. I want to go through a process. So what I would like to ask everyone to do is close your eyes. You can trust me, close your eyes. And I want you to think about an experience that you regret. Think of just one experience. I want you to play it in the movie theater of your mind right now. Take another deep breath. See it there. Feel the pain. Every exquisite detail of that moment. And I want you to imagine with this event a redemption, of time and space. By offering this experience into the furnace of spiritual alchemy, a place where good and bad vanish, and strength and resolve are derived and endure. Claim it. This is yours.